There we are. That music means we're starting. I'm learning. This is my 44th today here in this room. That's not really true. I'm making that up. My name is Porter Anderson, and I'm delighted to see all of you. All of you. Hello. We love Jessica. It's so good to have you here with us this afternoon because this is such an important topic. And I would like to start us off with Alessandra's comments to us. She's going to join us at the podium just to kick us off, and then we're going to have a very brisk discussion. All yours, and thank you.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased and very honored to be here and to open this session together with you. And in particular, I mean, the session that is dedicated is Apache, I don't know how to pronounce, I would like to pronounce, which is a cooperation project that started in 2023, funded within the cooperation action of Creative Europe program. Who has heard about Creative Europe? Okay. Wow, okay, so thank you, Corinne. She's working so Creative Europe program is the EU program that funds and support the creative and culture sector at the Union level, European Union level. And this project was funded through, is one of the goals of this program, and it aims to enhance social inclusion for over 100 million print-impaired individuals in the EU by promoting innovation in accessible publishing. The aim is to bring together publisher and specialist organizations to create a bidirectional dialogue and foster new forms of collaboration. By leveraging digital opportunities, Apache is working to increase the number of accessible e-books and position accessibility as a strategic asset for Europe. And the project is completely in line with the European Accessibility Act, which is now into force. It entered into force in June 2025, and which aims at transforming the publishing landscape across Europe. The Act requires that all e-books sold in Europe be fully accessible to people with disability by 2025. And we are seeing a real shift in the industry of publishers in that direction. Okay, it is an obligation, so we have to act and to respect the obligation indeed. And why accessibility is so important? I mean, I think that the reply is very simple. We really want everyone to have the same opportunity. And we want to promote reading and literacies in this respect, and to make sure that indeed each of us has the same possibility. Promotion of reading and literacy as one of the policy priorities can only be achieved if accessibility is ensured. By making books and reading materials accessible, we can bridge the gap in literacy rates and promote social inclusion. By providing accessible reading material, we can ensure that people with disability have the same opportunities as others to acquire knowledge, skills, and cultural enrichment. And efforts to promote accessibility in reading are being recognized. Recently, the Apache, I don't want to spoil you, but I would like to say that your project received the 2025 ABC International Excellence Award for Accessible Publishing, a prestigious award that recognizes outstanding contribution to accessible publishing. The award is really a recognition to the hard work and dedication of your team in this respect. So thank you very much also from our side, because I mean, it just thanks to you, thanks to the success that we can continue and we can raise the visibility of the program now, but also in the future, because you know that the Commission has proposed has made the proposal for the next multi-financial framework, which will cover the period 2028-2034. Is it seems far away, but it's not really far away. And in this proposal, indeed, the budget for the Creative Europe, the successor of the Creative Europe program, which is now called, for the moment, the proposal has been to call it Agora EU, has increased a lot. So we move from 2.8 now in the current multi-annual financial framework to 8.9, almost 8.6 billion. But in this part, there is not only, media, culture, there is also the part dedicated to citizen democracy and respect of the union values. So it's something that is a global program. But of course, the fact that we have that the Commission proposed such an increase is also thanks to you. The work that you are doing is a collegial work. We all work together. And if we can show the importance of what we are doing of our project, of course, this is even it contribute to convince everybody and the politicians that, there is a need to continue on this line in that direction. So thanks again for this, and allow me also to finish by announcing that today we have published the call, what we call it LIT. The LIT call is Creation of European Literacy Works. The publication is today. We just published. The deadline is the 29th of January. This is a call that would allow us on a yearly basis since 2021 to fund around 40 projects. And let's say the driving force, the core of the call is reading promotion. Is translation, books translation, and book circulations. We can circulate better our books if we translate our book. And I would just remind that thanks to this project, every day in Europe, one book is translated, thanks to the project. So, and again, thanks to you, because you are behind the project. So again, thank you very much for your attention. Good luck, and I trust we are going to have an inspiring session with you, and congratulations again for your prize. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very well said, Commissioner. Thank you so much. It's great to have Cristina here so that I, too, can say congratulations to her, to Elisa and the team for the wonderful ABC award they've gotten, and I have had a chance to watch them work close up. They are terrific. We are all very lucky to have them. Can you give us a chance to understand, Cristina, in 4 words or less, how Europe is doing in its response to the EU Act, which went into effect, by the way, on the 28th of June. We were all together at that time in Fiesole. Yes.
First of all, thank you very much for all the appreciation. We really are proud of it. Coming back to the Act, when we discussed in the previous year about the implementation and the entering force, it seemed very, very far. And so everyone say, okay, there is 28th of June 25, and now it's happened. And I have to say that the work we have done all together to support publisher and to work with publisher in the accessibility field has been very productive. We see that a lot of publishers in different countries, not only in trade, but also in education, in professional and academic publication, are starting to move with accessibility in mind in every activity they are doing. So not only producing accessible digital publication, but also working on platform, website, e-commerce, and all the different elements of the distribution value chain that I think is very, very important. There are some countries that are more advanced, there are that are little laggard, but I think that all the big ones like Italy, Germany, French, a lot of work has been done in the Nordic country and some Eastern country. We have partnered in the project from Bulgaria and from Lithuania, and not only the big country. I think that there is a lot of improvement, and I see a lot of collaboration that I think is the other important thing that we saw in this last year. So publications are starting to become accessible, even complex one, not only textbooks only. So we see a lot of increase in the investment of the publishing industry in activities that are also time and cost consuming, like producing alternative description. There is investment in trying to use innovative technology like AI and other tools to create in a better way, in a simple way, these parts that are mandatory but are complex to manage. What we also see, it's a lot of discussion with the authority. There are some countries where the authority are now in place and publisher association mainly and having a good relationship. There is French, and Clementine will explain better what they are doing, but also in Italy we have started discussion with the Italian authority. I know that in Germany they recently have appointed the authority, in Spain again. And so also in that area we see a movement where until last year it was quite difficult to understand what was the authority position versus the publishing industry. We now saw that there are still some topic like the calculation of the disproportionate burden, where the publisher can demonstrate that it costs too much compared with the sale of a number of people who can access to the title to create accessible publication, but also the alteration, the fundamental alteration that can be applied, for example, for books like comics, very strongly illustrated books where the technology and also the standard are not ready yet, are still under, let's say, research and improvement. But I see that there are some examples on how we can face this topic, and there are also a lot of best practice from different kinds of publisher in different fields that can be also a good point, starting point to discuss. Later, after this seminar, we will have the meetup from the Apache project. That is a way to share and to discuss the most important topic and to try to understand each other what are the solutions that different people are putting in place. And I think this is another important thing. The last that I think is the most important for me is really the most, the thing I value most is the fact that all the big retailers are starting to show the metadata on accessibility. When we started the Fondazione LIA, we had to create our own catalog of all the accessible books available in the Italian market because the retailers were not accessible at website and they have no idea on how to display the information on accessible title on their website. Now, thanks also the collaboration and the work we have done also in the metadata display guideline with our chief officer managing as a chair this activity. Now Amazon, Kobo, and other retailers are starting to show on their website for each book the information of the accessibility. And I think this is a real point because people with disability can know that there are accessible books in the market and they don't need to wait a lot of time. They can use a commercial one. Thank you.
This is great. Thank you so much, Cristina. It's wonderful to see the momentum start to pick up, isn't it? And you're absolutely right about actually displaying the fact it's available. This is how the right people will find what's needed. So it's actually beginning to move in very quickly when you think about it. Clementine, I think you're going to speak to us a little bit about national relationships with national authorities, yeah?
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. In France, for us, the directive was transposed into French law in 2023, in August 2023. And in this French law, with an order and a decree, we had the denomination of the authority, which was the ARCOM, so the regulatory authority for audiovisual and digital communication. And as soon as 2023, as soon as the law was published, we met with the ARCOM in order to really build a relationship, a strong relationship with them, to create guidelines, to give the publishers strong ideas on how to produce accessible ebooks, what to do in regard to the law, and how to interpret it, how the ARCOM was going to control the accessible ebooks. And especially because in the French law, in the decree and the order, the decree and the order specifies the exemptions, namely the exemption for disproportionate burden, the one for modification, fundamental modification, and the last one for the micro-enterprises. And the idea was to create a template, a guideline, something to work on, to start on the disproportionate burden and the fundamental alteration, because the law doesn't say much. And we had to find a way for the publishers, a simple way for the publishers to give the outcome those informations about disproportionate burden and fundamental alteration. So we met very early with the outcome, and it's really, really important to note and to say that, and we are also really proud. Proud is a strong word, but we are very happy of our relationship with Arcom and with the staff of Arcom in France, because they are really listening to us, listening to the publishers, and they really want to work hand in hand with us. And they really listen to the specificities of some sectors, for example, the comics, the mangas, the school books, and so on. And so we came around the table, and we had a lot of meetings, and we created guidelines and an Excel sheet. It came in the form of an Excel sheet on how to declare that a book is exempted for disproportionate burden or modification, fundamental alteration. And the idea was to not add work for publishers. And at the beginning, the first reunion, the first meeting that we had with the Arcom, their proposal for the Excel sheet on disproportionate burden was a disproportionate burden in itself to fill it. So we work with them, they understood us, they listened to us, and they say, yeah, all right, we are aware of your realities, the realities of the sector, the industrial sector. And so we are going to work with you, creating something simpler for you to declare. And so we came, it's not perfect, but we are happy with it, and it's kind of, it's working. The first campaign of declarations are beginning, so we will see if it's really working, but in theory it is. And so we came with an Excel sheet on for the exemption of disproportionate burden. And now the publishers, if they want to exempt a book because it's too economically difficult to make it into an accessible ebooks, or because the transformation into an accessible ebook will destroy the layout, then we have to declare it to the Arcom. And the first step is to say that a book is not accessible and to say why. And it's a simple declaration. It's a simple Excel sheet. It's the first one. It's the first step. Then, if and only if there is, then if the Arcom wants to dig deeper, then you have to fill the more complex Excel sheet on disproportionate burden or on the fundamental alteration. But it's a process that we found with the Arcom, and it's a good sign that we are working hand in hand with them and that they are listening to us. It's a good relationship.
Very good. That sounds great. Thank you. It's wonderful to hear these steps going along too, because others can follow this. Now, Cristina with a K. We have the K and the C here. Talk to us a little bit about, from the Börsenverein's perspectives, the way that it looks like end users in this country, in Germany, are reacting to it.
Maybe as a first reaction to Clémentine, the EAA was implemented into German law already in 2021, 2022, but we are only in contact with our authority now. But what we did is to prepare ourselves. So within Börsenverein, as some of you may know, we have publishers, booksellers, and wholesalers in one association. So we had the expertise of the whole book chain within our association. But what we also did is we created a task force on accessibility, where we invited the representatives of specialized organizations to give their expertise and to have a very close exchange on the needs the end users have. And it was really important in our work, and that's how we tried, and I think we succeeded to prepare the book chain from an awareness raising perspective, but also then on very handy and practical information. So we still meet with this task force, and we get all the voices from task force members, and we had a panel this morning too, and I can say that the feedback is quite positive. From the publishers, but also other companies in the sector. We heard from a bigger bookseller in Germany that they even had positive reviews on their platform from end users. And also our partner, also a specialized organization, DZ Belesen in Leipzig, they did testings on the shortlist titles from our German book prize like 2 weeks ago, and they were quite happy. So it was not only a test on the pure files, but it was also a screen reader testing by end users, by visually impaired end users. And it really shows that the companies took it seriously, this preparation phase until 2025, and that they got prepared. But there are, of course, things that can be tweaked. You mentioned the more complex publications, educational material, and so on. But I think with the network we have also on a European and international level, there are ideas, there is the willingness to share good practice and best practice. And we were very happy that there wasn't a big crash in June 2025. It was quite smooth, but there is still things to do. And I think everybody knows that there's homework to do. And we are happy also to be in contact with our authority now. I think there are good examples from other countries, and where we can really learn from each other. And it's a thing that I do have with the accessibility with the EAA. There was always the willingness to share and to work together, and that's a very good example.
That's the best you can ask for. That's really good. Cristina.
No, I just want to ask something. The European Accessibility Act is, I think, one of the most complex law I ever seen at European level, because it includes a lot of sector with completely different structure, organization. There is hardware, software, e-books, publication, e-commerce, and so on. So I think that what is really, really important is that also the authority and the government don't have a very clear idea of what is the implication for the sector. So I think that this activity, working together and making organization aware of what are the problem, it's really, really important, because we are now with the Italian authority explaining a lot of things about the publishing sector, because they were until now doing the monitoring for a website. That is a completely different thing. The numbers are completely different. The complexity is completely different. The size of the company is different. So I think that this is very, very important. And also this knowing each other and sharing information, I think, is the most important thing. So this is why I think that project like Apache, independently from how we manage them, how we manage it, it's important, because it's really based on collaboration and sharing. And I think in this complex environment, it's the only way to solve the problem.
It's very well said. And I honestly, I think the Apache program and the way how it's being directed by Elisa with Cristina and everyone at the team there at Fondazione is really helping us to have a vehicle to move on, a framework, a way to work, as we say in the theater. You have a way to work on a character, not just sitting there going, what do we do next? And this is brilliant. I mean, to actually see this kind of good reaction coming along, to know that you're making the steps you are, this is great. And we are coming in at 1 minute left. Are we good or what? I am so impressed. This is fantastic. Does anybody have a quick question for one of our great experts here? We've completely satisfied you, have we? In 29 minutes.
I may just add something,
please,
because as we now have the first feedbacks, I think we can be confident of what we do and speak about it and also advertise for it. So we are also thinking of doing a bit more of awareness raising towards the end users for whom the EAA was designed, and to show what is possible now. And I think with the confidence we have now after several months, but it will only grow, that we can be very open and direct and show the new reality in the reading for them. Yep.
Yes, and if I may add, it's a shift also for people with disability. They are not used to get content from commercial website and so on. So it's another part of the work that we need to do. And it's another part of collaboration we need to implement, because probably from the practical activity done when they use a title, when they use a website, there will be some feedback. And this feedback will be absolutely relevant, because it will be a mind shift change also in that sector. They are used to get from libraries this kind of book, and they have delays and problems and so on. So the possibility to have the title at the same time in the same way as anybody else is new. A lot of people don't know. And I agree with Cristina. We have done a lot of work in supporting publishers, for example, in implementing accessible platform on website. And the feedback they got from people with disability who never thought during the COVID they were able to access the platform as any other student was unbelievable. And so I think this will be the best reward, not only from the legal point of view, but for the quality point of view from a publisher, to get the feedback from the end user that is positive. I think it will be very, very important.
That is so exciting. Time to take it home to the end user. I love it. I love it. Thank you all. This has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you all for being with us. It's good to have had you with us. We're back in the morning at 11:30, by the way, with Véronique Cardi of JC Latte, our executive talk speaker tomorrow. I hope you'll join us then. And there is programming all day long. Thank you so much.
Just a meeting in the project is room and tent on the medium floor up here.
The halfway
If you
floor
want
there.
to come, you're welcome.
Thank you again.